Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and my name is Yobu Godswill, which is super excited to be here again. And today I have with me
Emmanuel
okay.
Quentin, known as One Copy Sky.
Okay guys, today we'll be reacting to another recommended videos by one of my subscribers, and the video it's about an 18-year-old American teenager reverts to Islam. This is interesting. Revert story, convert stories. I like to hear because most times I pick one or two. I get to learn and make decisions, informed decisions. And I've been on the path of recent of knowing more about Islam for some time now. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey. So guys, join me on this one.
Hey, good morning, Muslim convert stories. My name is John. I'm 18. I'm from Ohio, and I am a Muslim. So, growing up, I was always raised Christian. I went to a Catholic church till I was 8. Then we were kind of hopping around churches for a while, but we settled down at a Methodist church just down the road. And I had a pretty healthy relation with Christianity growing up. We'd go to youth group, Sunday church, Wednesday church, and church camp. That was all fun, and I had a really close connection with God at the time, and I'd always try to hang out with friends, talk about God, and we always had a great time at youth group. So I always wanted to try to bring more people into the circle. My family definitely influenced that. We were all raised Christian, and we wanted the best for humanity. So when I was 12, I started beginning to have a lot of questions about Christianity, especially as I tried bringing people into the faith. And I actually decided to read the entire Bible for the next 2 years. So while I was reading the Bible, I began hearing different things from what my church told me. Some of the more recent issues would be gay rights in the church, or other controversial stuff that the church isn't following the teachings of the Bible. I'm not saying they should go either way, but I'm saying you should be consistent with your teachings, and they weren't consistent with their teachings, so I had to start finding out the truth. So I read.
Okay, on this, what I have to say is this: whatever we do, we should read. We should read. Just don't take what your pastors or your leaders or your elders in church tell you. You should learn to find out for yourself. Learn to read, not just take everything our pastors or our elders say. Sometimes they don't even they themselves don't have a right interpretation based on probably their background or based on how educated they are. Some of them they even took it from the way they heard it from another of their elders and they run with it, because what some people fear, or what most organizations or some organizations fear, is change. They just want to keep what's traditionally. This is what has been said continuously. But we have to learn. We have to dig deep and find out truth for ourselves. And with what he said, being consistent. Most of the churches these days are not consistent. They are preaching one thing, the Bible is saying another thing, and then you get to see different things popping up in the church, things that are not supposed to be, things that you can't easily identify the believers from the unbelievers, and you just get surprised and you wonder what's happening.
Okay, so John was like from his childhood, he was born, started a Christian life, a church service, he was a Catholic, and then the church teachings was inconsistent. So at a point in time, he realized that no, I have to take time and read. Actually, there was a saying. There's this saying. I want to remember the person who actually said it. Said, if you want to keep something, if you want to keep something from human, like the Africans or humankind, let's put it in a book. Just keep it in a book, and it will be very difficult for them to see it. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying here is that humankind don't like reading, or let me say Africans, we don't like reading and researching and knowing things by ourselves. When you read to know things by yourself, you find out the truth by yourself and you become a master of it. Now, when somebody used to teach you all the time, it's like somebody is spoon feeding you, and when that person is no more, it becomes very difficult for you to feed yourself. So it is rather you learn to feed yourself. rather to wait for somebody to feed you all the time. What he did was a perfect way. Find the truth by yourself. Know what is the truth and focus on it. So when you're in a church, it doesn't mean your pastor has been educated, he's coming from a well-trained, whatever. Sometimes the background of a pastor can influence how he reacts and how he talks and how he preaches in the auditorium when he takes the mic. It could be a different angles. What he knows, after reading the Bible, this Bible, people have a lot of interpretations about it. Somebody will read a verse, and then how the person will interpret that verse to you. A different person will read the same verse and will interpret it totally different to you. So it is very important as Christians, read the Bible, get to know the Bible by yourself, and you can take decisions by yourself.
Okay, guys, let's continue.
Bible. I'm not saying they should go either way, but I'm saying you should be consistent with your teachings, and they weren't consistent with their teachings, so I had to start finding out the truth. So I read the Bible, and a lot was confusing to me, like, is God 3 or 1? Is God merciful like Jesus, or is he wicked like in the Old Testament, destroying entire villages? The character of God kept changing throughout the Bible. A lot of his messengers were given bad raps, such as King David and Moses. Moses killed a guy, and it didn't seem very divine to me. And going later into the New Testament, salvation was defined in a new way from the Old Testament. So in the Old Testament, the salvation was believe in one God, follow his commandments. And in the New Testament, it was Jesus died for you. And something that fundamental you're not able to ignore. There's a lot of small errors, like some of the battles, they'll say there's 475,000 people in it. Some say 1.1 million. That wasn't a big enough difference for me to reject the faith, because those are minor details. They don't affect the whole story. But when salvation comes in the hand, that's what our faith is built on. And without that, there's no need to be Christian if you don't believe the Christian doctrine. So when I was 15, after reading the Bible and going to church a little longer while starting to ignore what the pastor has to say, I lost my faith in Christianity and I became an atheist for the next 3 to 4 years. I'm 18 right now, so. And during that time, I felt pretty smart because I was getting off recent scientific discoveries, and whatever science told me is what I'm gonna go with. I don't have any book holding me down or anything like that. And what happened was, having no faith in God or what humanity is gonna do, I believe we're all doomed in the end without a creator. So God offered a way of hope for me, and without God, this was all by accident. And I believe people have greater purpose than just being an accident here, evolved for billions of years. And that kind of message of God didn't create us, the human race isn't any more important than a dog or a chicken. So I thought humans had more value than science would give. Humans are able to think for themselves and help each other. There's so many differences between humans and animals, I can't even get started, but the community is definitely one of the biggest differences, and we're way more advanced than animals. So I just wanted to understand, then, where is it saying that there's one God? Where is the value in humanity? what rule book are we going to follow? Because humans without rules, they begin following their desires like I did when I was non-religious, and that actually makes you more sad as a person. So I needed some guidance. My family was still putting in Christian values at the time into me, but I rejected the teachings like I did prior. But some of the teachings on like treating your fellow man, I thought they were pretty consistent. So that built a new moral baseline for me. Don't believe what the Bible says, but believe some of its teachings, I guess. Not the stories, but the lessons. And also during that time, I began getting into self-improvement. That allowed me to start facing what discipline is like and start appreciating what I have, at least while I'm here on earth, because when you don't believe in a hereafter, you better do all you can here. And so I started working out. I began reading books on self-improvement. David Goggins has a book called Can't Hurt Me, and his second book is called Never Finished. I read both of those. I felt pretty motivated after reading them too. There's so much more purpose in what we do than is realized. He actually was raised dirt poor, troubled family, and he made himself into a ultra marathon athlete, Navy SEAL. So he found his purpose and he executed on what he found to be the purpose of life. And finding our purpose, I believe, is our most important mission. Without a purpose, we're all just sitting here until we die, and I don't think that's a way to live. So what happened was, online with the self-improvement community, they started bringing up the topic of Islam. Islam equals discipline. Islam is a way of life, and I wanted to learn more about it because I had no understanding of Islam at the time. I was raised Christian. The nearest mosque is around 50 miles away from my house. I've never met another Muslim my whole life until recently when I was reading the Quran at school. So without knowing anything about Islam, besides what the media has told us, we have all heard about it and it's shameful. I actually started learning about the truth about Islam, and not just a surface level understand like the culture, but a more deep understanding of their belief systems. And their beliefs aligned a lot with Christianity from my understanding, so it was fairly easy to accept. And it actually added on more of the truth than Christianity revealed. And what it did for me is it set the stage for, this is the only monotheistic religion. There's one God. This is what's expected of you. You need to do good for your fellow man. And I create everything for you, and anyone who follows my rules will be in heaven with us. And that was very important to me. I believe we all have a higher purpose, and I believe we should do good while we're here as well. And Islam checked all the boxes. And since I've been Muslim, it's built a deeper connection between me and God. And I'm praying more. I'm fasting currently for Ramadan. It's day 14 as I film this. And I've been more charitable ever since becoming religious. So Way of Life has offered me a lot of hope. As I've been reading the Quran, it's confirmed a lot more truth. From when I was reading the Bible, I had a lot of misunderstandings, and the Quran revealed what the true meaning was in the straightforward verses. You have to read it for yourself to understand, but it unlocked all the truth I was looking for. I still have some misunderstandings, but I could overlook that as of now, as I'm learning the faith. Even Muslims who've been in the faith for many years, they don't understand it fully, but I believe it's a learning process. And on February 17, 2023, in my bedroom, I actually took the Shahada, which is the testimony of faith. And ever since then, I wouldn't stop talking about Islam. And inshallah, my parents will start to realize that the truth is very simple: one God, many messengers, same message. And we have to do good for our fellow man. And I think that's most important for all of us. We need to do the best we can to honor our Creator. And I that's the main message. So ever since becoming Muslim, stronger connection with God. Um, I've been way more humble. I've been watching what I say, no more cursing, more discipline when it comes to fasting, more charity. I'm becoming a better man like this, and I see it as the only true way of life where you have solid moral values to truly understand your Creator. Every other religion has sold out to modern ideologies and stopped following their book. And Islam's the one religion I see staying consistent till the end of time. And their discipline correlates a lot with my own values of hard work, discipline, take care of your family. And to me, that's a no-brainer. A religion encouraging you to worship your Creator, help your family, and better yourself. I think that's what we all need, and that's why I converted to Islam. So thank you. I'm glad to be on your channel. If you could give me a shout out for my channel, I've recently been getting back into YouTube. I've been a YouTuber for 5 years, but I've removed all my prior content, which I was taking care of animals, and it was very entertaining, but I saw my channel as having a higher purpose and a wider message, and I want it to be a record for me to reflect on, and I hope you guys can also learn from it. So I want to thank you for having me on your channel, and
So guys, basically, like I said, we need to read steady and be convinced in whatever we're doing, not just by words of mouth from what we hear from our religious leaders. We should read. When we read, we search for the answers we're looking for. Some of us will not fulfilled until you get to know those or get those questions about your faith that is boggling or troubling you, you know. And if you don't read, you just have to take what your pastors or your religious leaders tell you. Only when you search for them, you say you should search, read, and then these things you make your informed decisions, and you know where you stand, you know what you're going to do next. And good for him, he found Islam to be where he wants to be. I feel it answers the questions that have been bothering him. Yeah, he's right. A lot of things has gone wrong in the church, in Christianity nowadays. A whole lot of ideologies being popped into the church, and the church keeps shifting the goalposts at every point in time, trying to make it more suitable for the generation. But you're forgetting that the word of God never changes. It remains steadfast. It says the same today, tomorrow, and forevermore. But why do we try to change His word, or try to move the goalpost at every point in time, where every single group or subsect cries out about? So I believe in every association, in every religion, or in every organization, there are set of rules. If you don't want to follow those set of rules, you don't get to belong there. So the same way with religion, they have principles guiding them. So you don't, because of a group of set of people crying that it's ancient or one reason or the other, and you keep shifting the goalpost just to accommodate them because you hear God is love. But then He has laid His own rules down. You've read what you should do to follow Him. Do not do this, do not do that. But because you want to carry everybody along, everybody cannot come along in this journey, because God has already made it clear. This is what I want. This is the kind of people I want. And you're trying to shift the goalpost. You're not doing them any good. Let them go. If not, you're just watering down the whole thing, and it doesn't make sense anymore.
Okay, that was a very nice video we've watched. John has really let us understand that reading is very important. Let you get a lot of access to information, things that you don't know comes into mind. But there was a point that I disagree with him a little bit, but just not to disagree with him. He was talking about he being the Muslim, then being the Islamic. He has identified that able to move on learning good morals and other stuff, that's fine. You can be in the Christian, and we have a lot of people who are also having good morals. It's all boils up to what we are saying. When you want to be a Muslim, you be a Muslim. You be a Muslim, and you go by the rules that govern the Muslim. In in every organization or every group that you find yourself, as my brother was saying here, there is rules and regulation governing it. When you are able to abide by those rules, it makes you a matured member of the team, and that makes you a responsible member of the team. So it goes hand in hand. As you are in a Muslim or you're in a Christian, the Christian also have the Bible, and if you take your time to read what is in the Bible and what is expected of you, and you do it, it makes you a good member and a responsible member as well.
So talking about reading, yeah. So if you read the Bible, you know what the Bible is saying. You know what the book is saying. So you don't when someone comes up to the pulpit preaching and is saying something contrary, because you have that information you've
Already,
read.
you have it.
Yeah. So you just don't take. You could actually tell the person, "Nah, this thing you're saying is not found anywhere in the Bible."
Yeah.
So that makes you take informed decisions, and you just swallow everything that they give to you, hook, line, and sinker. No, when you read, you get that information. Say information is power. Then you can actually make your decisions. So in all we're doing, my message to you today is read.
It is very necessary.
Read.
Then it is necessary to get reading. Read. It's about time we start to read and research. Find the truth by yourself. We have human conscience. This human conscience here that we have, there is something, when you do something in your own spirit, you could feel that this what I'm doing here, it is not the right thing to be done. When you're doing something and you in your own conscience, in your own humanity, you can feel that yes, this what I'm doing is in the right direction. It's the same way. So when you're doing something, find what is the truth, find what is the right, do it. As you are doing to favoring yourself, think about the third person. Are you doing harm to the person around you, or you're doing good to the person around you? Never care about your own self. As when you're caring about yourself, it should be better for the person for those who are around you. Don't cause problem for those who are around you as you are making yourself comfortable. And that is what the Bible says. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Okay, guys, thank you for sticking with us on this one. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. If you have any suggestions and any videos you want us to react to, can you drop us in the comment section, or you can send me an email. Guys, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more encouraged we are to drop more videos. Please, your opinions are widely welcomed. We're expecting to engage with you more in the comment section. So we'll meet again